guys, Michael Ternes here, bringing you C3 Rants. Today's topic, Daredevil, the original Netflix series. Or is it Netflix original series?
I don't know. Kind of varies, I think, who you talk to.
Right. But either way, everybody's gone nuts over this one. We've had a couple days to discuss it. We've had a few days to absorb. Some people have definitely gotten their binge on. What is it, 10 episodes, 12 episodes?
13 total.
Oh, 13 total. Okay,
Yep.
So I've made it through 2 so far.
I'm through 8.
So today we'll touch on 1 and 2. What was your initial response to number 1, the pilot?
The pilot was awesome, I thought. Like, did a really good job of setting all the characters up and kind of it just gave you the feeling that they were gonna go through and there were people that were gonna be fleshed out. You know, like it wasn't, nobody felt like cut and paste, like, oh, here's your standard, you know, Foggy's not just a standard sidekick, you know, and like all that. Like, it, I don't know, I just felt like everything in the pilot, as far as characters, did a really good job of like being a full character and all that, you know.
No, I definitely agree with that. I did like just the quick introduction of everybody. The fact that we didn't have to, you know, or how do I want to word it? I like the idea of using the flashbacks to tell the origin story. You know, we definitely don't need to, you know, to tread on it too much.
Yeah.
I mean, Daredevil's been around for quite a while, and I think this format, you know, using the whole season to flesh it out, I think will definitely work to their benefit.
Yeah, that was something I did really like too, was the fact that the Daredevil's origin in the first episode lasts for about 10 seconds. You know, they don't even show you what happened, they just tell you. Yeah. And then it's over. You know, it's right into modern times, which was awesome. It was like, yes, don't gotta.
There we go. We don't need 45 minutes of him as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, which way, I mean, all said and done, we're gonna get 45 minutes of him as a kid,
but it comes in short bursts when it's necessary to the story. So. Mm-hmm. That's good.
And I like the you know, the overall appearance of the show. I guess you know, I like it's kind of that muted tone. Definitely Hell's Kitchen, and definitely a nice little homage. And like we were talking earlier, this does take place in the MCU.
Yep.
And this is it's either post Avengers or post Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Either way.
They don't really seriously reference either or. They don't give away anything. If it does take place after Age of Ultron, nothing's given away so far as I can tell.
Right.
You know. So.
And I like the idea that this can exist in a realm with, you know, our Fantastic Fours and our Spider-Mans and our Avengers and stuff like that. And that's what I think fans have been wanting for a long time.
Yeah.
Where when it comes down to it, it really shouldn't be that difficult to tie everything together. You know, and it's just like these days it's licenses and other garbage that gets in the way. But I think this is a prime opportunity for Marvel and Netflix to use this as a jumping platform into, we could be, you know, 10 years of programming.
Oh yeah, easily.
I mean, who knows? You know, this could fund, you know, Netflix becoming a cable provider.
Yep. With this property alone too, there's already been talk of doing, you know, like Punisher, Heroes for Hire, aka Jessica Jones. I mean, there's already other ones that we have on the way, and I'm already super excited for Punisher and Heroes for Hire. I mean, there's like a whole platform, I guess, that I feel like media's kind of been missing out on, like the Marvel universe has been missing out on, because it's you know. Obviously, New York is such an integral part of the Marvel universe, you know, with Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher, all that kind of stuff. But it's nice to see that there's little factions of it that we don't hear too much about in the movies.
Right. You know, and I think we'll see over the next year or two, you know, see how this ties in, where, you know, there's going to be I'm sure there'll be some sort of S.H.I.E.L.D. crossover. They'll probably, but again, this is you're dealing with 2 different networks. Are they going to... You know, like us as fans, I mean, of course, we'd love more crossover events, but again, you know, it's networks involved, things like that. You know, as far as first episode goes, I was overall pretty impressed with it. Moving on to the second episode, I guess my biggest gripes, and we've talked before, it's falling into superhero cliche territory, and you know, like we were talking, I want to see the list. How many kidnappers are playing poker when the hero breaks in, and how many heroes are picked up by, you know, the overly attractive and educated woman on the streets. Not of the streets, on the streets. You know, here it was. We see him. I mean, he's beat up. You got the absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah. She turned down my wedding invitation that night.
Happens, you know. Like,
forgot her name. Rosario. I'm sorry.
I mean, I agree. You know, it is obviously that was kind of one thing I thought was weird too because I watched the first episode the night they all came out, and it ended with kind of the whole kidnapping thing starting, and I was like, oh, is it going to be one of those where it's made for binging, where the next episode is going to lead directly into that? Mm-hmm. But the next time to watch episode 2, and it takes place once again after there's no like. It takes place after all the kidnapping events go down.
Right.
Like, he just says, oh, yeah, I followed them. They were waiting for me. I got beat up. Like, and it's kind of cool to be okay, so it works.
Is this 6 weeks later? 6 months later?
Yeah, it works both ways, where it's like, you know, you can watch it all in a binge, or you can take your time with it and just kind of do an episode here and there. I fell asleep during a couple episodes. That's not to say anything about the episode's strength. They were great. I just don't get much sleep. But it's cool to be able to go back and rewatch them, and, you know, and just, or move on and just think I probably didn't miss out on much, you know, just kind of move on and keep going. So
no, and I think moving forward, I think overall they're onto a good thing here. I'm hoping to see, you know, a little bit more interaction. I want to see Froggy. I want to see, you know, obviously something's got to go down with him at some point. Kingpin. I wonder if we'll get introduced to. Well, who am I thinking? We have like Bullseye. We have who are some top Daredevil villains from over the years.
Billy Electra, you know,
he can cross over.
Yeah.
You know,
Fox Studios.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
That is one thing I do want to say too, real quick, because I go on this every time. I love the original Daredevil movie. The first thing I will say to anybody who's seen it and bashes it is, have you seen the director's cut? Because if you haven't, you should see it. It's a lot better than the regular version. And it's cool to see this. Having that in mind, because it's so different but also so similar and better. Like in the movie they talk a lot about how he views everything with sight. I don't know what episode they do it in this series, I don't remember, but they talk about how he specifically says, like, you got to think of it as more than just 5 senses. He's like, I sense, you know, changes in air density, I can smell chemicals, and it's just like so much better.
Opened up the brain.
Yeah, it's just.
Which we'll see. Again, you know, one of these days I want to fall into a vat of brain enhancing.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I mean, lose your sight, so be it. But it's like, I don't know. You think that it could make dating a serious problem? But
well, I don't know though. Like, it is a kind of running joke in the show, and like you said, I mean, Matt Murdock does get a lot of hot chicks.
Yeah.
So
it's all that pheromone.
What's the trade-off? You know?
Yeah. You know, I think it's him. It's trickery. It's all trickery. That, and I still don't think he's blind. I think that's totally
just faking it.
That's just there, like back in the day, because not many other characters have come into the blind realm.
Yeah,
you know, you have some famous characters over the years, but you know, Daredevil's always been the pinnacle blind, super smart lawyer guy.
True that.
Although that is one thing I have always loved about Daredevil, is the fact that he, as far as we're concerned, is not the, you know, ridiculous smart. He's not some you know, oh, I can absorb textbooks, you know. He has some osmosis ability or something.
Not OP.
It's him reacting to his scenarios, and he has good reflexes and this cool sixth sense ability to, you know, use bat sonar.
It is actually one other thing that I thought was cool too in this show is the fact that the law firm that they start up is, what do they say? It's literally like 7 hours old. Like, Foggy and Murdock have been practicing law for about 7 hours. You know, like that's kind of cool. So
you're our first client.
Yeah,
you're not going to pay us.
Yeah, it's cool to see them establishing that while we're establishing the characters, because then we grow with them and all that. You know, it's
no doubt.
They're not pre-established, been running this law firm for 4 years, and they have all this history. It's like, no, this is pretty much just them kind of getting going. Mm-hmm. So.
And we'll see what happens. You know, we got Blondie in the office doing her secretary thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where she plays out. The fight sequences so far have been, I mean, even 2 episodes in, I like the fact that he's like legitimately getting hurt and tired, and I like the fact that he's getting hurt and tired. I mean, the fact that how many shows, you know, how many heroes, it's always just that unstoppable force, you know.
Yeah,
and we bring that up so many other times, and it's like, here it's nice to show a guy that's like bleeding and
absolutely, yeah. That well, then on top of that too, I like the fact that the fight scenes are acrobatic, but not overly so.
Right.
He's not flying around the room.
He's not cartwheeling.
He does a few spins here and there, and that's about as like much as it gets because he's still, you know, for the most part, regular. He's a human. He's not superpowered or anything like that. So he's not, you know, just flying off the walls and hitting people and setting the pool table on fire like in the movie.
Yeah.
And just it's grounded and it's pretty authentic and real, and it's awesome to see that. And then you know, there's that fight scene in the second episode that's all one shot, you know, it's like 5 minutes long or something like that. I don't know, 2 minutes long, but just taking out an entire hallway of dudes. That was pretty tight.
Just nonstop. I like it. Yeah, just overall it's looking good. Again, I mean, it's just its first season as of right now. I think it's pretty safe to say the second and third season will probably be developed here before too long. Like, again, you know, the platform that it's setting up right now, where we have, what do we have? Jessica Jones will be our next Netflix show, I believe. And then that'll open up the realm a little bit too, because then I'm assuming we'll get the introductions of, you know, Iron Fist and Power Man and all them. Then you'll start seeing actual, you know, the superhero stuff. And that's one thing. I mean, since Smallville, we haven't really had, you know, a show along those lines. I mean, Flash is doing awesome, but I mean, it's special. You know, the special effects are pretty special. But I think the way the way they're producing this, it'll be cool to see their take on superpowers.
It's amazing show all around. Like every time I think, oh, this is the best episode so far, I watch the next one. I'm like, nope, this is the best episode so far. So check it out if you haven't. I mean, it's just awesome. Get Netflix if you don't have it. Why would you not have Netflix? It's stupid.
Get on it. Get on it.
Stupid.
So Daredevil, check it out. Thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up from me.